Hello, Emmett. How's it going? Hope you're feeling better. Sorry I missed you this week, but I didn't want to completely miss you, so wanted to at least send you a little video lesson to kind of keep going, get back into things. I know we missed the past, oh my gosh, 2 weeks, right? You were sick a week, we had spring break a week, and then obviously this week, so yeah, can't have that. So I want to do a couple things. I want to, one, just kind of review a couple of the tunes. You had your notebook. I've got a new one list here. We'll talk through now and even play some through now. But I'll shoot this to your mom, so you will have this. And then let's just kind of get into it. So I want to catch our note speller, and then I want to talk about the new songs. And then at the end, I want to do some review videos, or not videos, but review with the old songs that we had, old / the new ones from last week or last time. That was that 53, 55 in the lesson book. So I want to put at the end of the video a couple tracks where you can just play with me in the video. We'll do it at a couple different tempos and whatnot. So to start with, let's talk about the new stuff, so we kind of know where we're going with that. And then the review ones, you can just use as much as you want and kind of go from there. So let's talk note speller. So we had page 12, which should be done already. If not, finish it. That was just drawing a whole note on the liner space, in particular using your bass clef, right? Thinking about my great big dogs fight animals, all cars eat gas as I do that. So again, that one should already be done, but if not, then get to it, right? New one is the next page, page 13. And again, following up with my bass clef stuff, they're going to just give me some notes, and this shouldn't be a big deal. You've done this with our treble clef stuff. Just fill in the blank. And then remember, between every measure, they're going to spell a word, right? So check yourself. If it looks like a funny word, you might just look at it again, because most of the words make sense. So anyways, again, that great big dogs fight animals, all cars eat gas, always going up with my saying, right? So it should be fine on that one. So that's in here. Wrote that out. 12 should be done. 13 is our new one. Fill in the letters in the blank. And then let's talk about some new tunes in our lesson book. So I'm hoping the 53, 55, since you had the last 2 weeks to kind of, play through those, that those are feeling good with the skips. And again, we'll come back to those here in just a minute. So if you have your lesson book, turn with me, or if you need to pause and go get it, because I want to talk about these new tunes here. So flipping over to page 57, should say a joke for you. I can't remember if we kind of talked about some of these ahead of time or not. So if we had, great. Hopefully this is just a review and we really dive into it. If it's new, that's fine too. But 56, we're skipping. If you look at 56, I know I'm jumping around, 56, 57, but on that left side, 56, it says learning bass D. We're skipping this because the song is super boring. It's only D's, right? If you look at the music, you look at the top of that page, right? It says bass D underneath my middle C. And it's that third line, which again, we just did it with our note speller. If we're thinking that great big dogs, then that is my D below middle C, right? So looking at this song, again, it's really boring because it's all 3 on D and it's just playing D, 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 D over and over again. So if you really want to do it, you can, but we're not assigning it. The big idea is they're getting me into what page 57 is. And if you look at the top of that page, you see where it says middle C and that little picture on the keyboard up above, and then bass C is kind of highlighted, right? And we see that as that second space up, which again, because all cars eat gas, right? So if I'm looking at my actual song music, we will see in the left hand that they are a 3 on that second space up, right? So I am a 3 on that C below middle C. And in this case, my right hand's going to be just normal C position, 5 on G, as you see the bottom half there. But talking about the first half for a second, we see the space is my C, C, which means my 2 is naturally going to play the D above it, right? Back to my C, my D, my C, my D, my C, my D, C, right? That's all that first line is doing, right? They're just trying to focus to get you thinking about that lower C position, right? And you're going to see on the next page the 5-finger scale, which we've already done with our white keys. So this official intro of that bass C, remember we have talked about middle C to the G and middle C to the F in the bass, right? We filled in the D, E, F on the top. And then we have worked down the B, the A, the G, the F. And now we're kind of going to go backwards and build back up to the F here in just a second. So they introduce that D and C, right? All cars, great big dogs. And then we're going to add the E on this next song here. So as far as this page 57 goes, the big idea is watch my left hand 3 on the C, right hand normal position, watch my C, Ds, again, just a step apart. And then at the very, very end, you'll see that both hands play a C together, right? So you can jump into that one here. And then if you flip the page to 58, football game. This is where, if you see the top of the page, it says C 5-finger scale in the bass clef. This is where they kind of complete everything. They put it all together, right? We have the C, the D. Now we have the E, which again, you know from Note Speller, this is why we do it. All cars eat, right? My E below middle C. And then, of course, the F, G, which we should know as well, right? So we did our C 5-finger scale, if you remember back towards the beginning when we were doing just the letter notes. They had us in that C 5-finger scale or both thumbs on C when we played, I can't think of the names of the songs, the March, Merry March and whatnot. So we have done this position. Just remember, whenever you see a C 5-finger scale or C position, right, we're always thinking the bottom finger of each hand. That's my root. That's my foundation note, building C and up, right? So if I look at the beginning of football, I'm saying my 5 on, my low C, meaning the C below middle C, and every finger gets a key, the D, E, F, G, and right hand is just where it's been, middle C. It's not going to do anything different this book, right? So you do have the answers at the top of the page as you get into these first 2 measures, or even the bottom line. If there's a note for some reason you can't figure out, you can look up. Right? They are there if you need them. I'd encourage you, don't write the letters in. You can write the first one in, that 5 on C, thumb on C. But as far as just my normal notes, I should be able to look above. And again, use the lines and spaces. All cars eat gas, great big dogs fight animals, right? If you take a peek at the bottom half, just want to kind of throw this out there, point it out here. So the first 2 measures, we should see going up, coming down as steps. Right, I've got the C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D. And then that third measure, we should notice they're all space notes. Right, so I'm playing my C, skip to E, skip to G, back to E, back to C. And the last note we say, or we look and it says literally, play the lowest C. And you're just going to pick your hand up and jump to the lowest C note. And in this case, they say with a 3. Right? So what are my lines and spaces? And again, that bottom half in particular, thinking about, is it stepping up or is it skipping up and down? Right? Okay. Hopefully that was all clear. You can take it from there. 59. Let's talk about 59. I want to get through 61 is my goal. I want to give you these 4 next tunes to kind of work on here. So 59 introduces the octave. There are only a couple more like new ideas in this book. We're not going to learn any more new notes as far as what we just did with football game. Those are the only notes we're going to learn. We have that C to low C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. And then my right hand is that C to G. And that's it. From here on out, there's just a couple other little musical ideas that they want to introduce to you. Otherwise, no new notes, right? So the octave, if you see on the top page, it says the distance from middle C to bass C is 8 notes, right? C, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they say this is called an octave. an octave is a distance, right? Kind of like the step and the skip idea that we've kind of introduced a little bit, right? Now they're saying the octave is a distance, and it's not just C to C. It's really just any letter to the same letter, either up or down, right? If it's G to the next G, or D to the next D, or backwards, right? E down to the D. That space, that distance, is the octave, right? So if you look at the tune, the song here, you'll see in the first measure in particular, it has a thumb on your middle C, and then it has a 5, and be careful, that's not the F, that is the all cars, that bass C that we just did in those last two songs. And they have said, think about leaping, not just stretching. So we're not asking you to stretch for that octave or that distance, C to C. If you can, it's not wrong, but that's not what we're going for. We can have a slight stretch, but it's really still just that C kind of lifting, bouncing to the C below it with my pinky, right? So let's take a look at this first line. We're going to play middle C with our thumb. So we got our C, C, jumping down to the 5 on the C below, back to middle C, back to the low C, back to middle C. Now we don't move. My B, A, B, C, C, and here's my jump to my low C again, right? And then it transitions us. If you look at this bottom line, we see it says brace 3 with the thumb. All that means is they're talking about this idea. You're just going to put your thumb kind of behind the 3, give it some support, right? And if you look at those next, like 8 notes, it's all like 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And it's all stepping up to middle C, right? So all we're going to do is play that C, up 1 D, up 1 E, keep it going all the way to that middle C, my C, C, and then I'm going to jump right back down to the bass C. And that's the idea. Right, so it's all left hand. If you look into the treble clef, that top staff, there is no notes, so no right hand. It's just bouncing back and forth between thumb to pinky on that middle C to low C, right? And again, we're saying low C as the C below middle C, okay? All right, so we're going to ask you next week, what is an octave? And you're going to say it's the distance between two notes, and in particular, it's 8 notes apart. It's the same letter or a letter to the same letter, either up or down. That distance is 1 octave. All right. All right, last one, copycat. If you flip the page to 6061, again, I said there are no more new notes, and this one is following that. We see it's a C 5-finger scale. It may not be written in your book because it's a blank under the title there, but it is just C 5-finger scale, which means, again, bottom is my root. So thumb on C, left hand pinky on the C below. They should mirror each other of the C, D, E, F, G or C, D, E, F, G. Right, now copycat, I don't think I need to talk a whole lot about this one because, again, hopefully you should already know these notes. We know our lines and spaces. That covers all of the base notes of that All Cars Eat Gas, Great Big Dogs Fly Animals, right? As long as my position is correct. And I'm also thinking about the steps and the skips, right? That's kind of the trick with this one, or one of the tricks with this one, I should say. So copycat, if you think of the game Copycat, I'm assuming with 3 brothers, you know this game. But basically, one hand is going to play an idea, the right hand in particular, and the left hand is going to copy it. So as you look at the first line here, we see the right hand plays the G, F, E, D, C, skip E, skip G. The left hand just copies it. G, F, E, D, C, skip G. Right? So as long as you're saying your letters, which you should be on any of these, saying your letters, counting, tracks, right? You should be good. Pay attention to the second line on that first page. Notice that it starts with a D, and the left hand copies it, starts with a D, and they tell you 2 and they tell you 4. And then if you look at the second page there, also the second line kind of does a similar idea. I'm starting that line with a D and that left hand with a D, right? And then again, read your letters, think about, are my notes stepping down or up, or are they skipping down or up? All right. So I think you can handle that. You can take it from there. Again, go slow, go through your step process on any of these, saying my letters out loud. I should be counting out loud, my 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the time signature tells me, right? And then, of course, you have the tracks to go work them up to, starting at any even tempo, slowing it down, right? And working towards that 100% goal, whatever that might be in that particular song. All right. So the big one is, takeaway on these new things is that they're filling in the gap between what was left of the C, B, A, G, F, and giving you that bass C, D, and E, right? And again, that just fills in from C to C in the bass, and you already have the C to G in the treble clef. That doesn't change. The only thing that changes now is you're going to move your hands, and again, you still have to read your letters, right? And make sure your fingers are in the right spot. So, okay, that covers the new stuff from whatever that was, 57 through the 61. Just those kind of 4 new songs. So definitely spend time on that, on the new stuff. And then I want to transition into kind of some play-alongs for you, reviewing back to the 53 through 55. I want to kind of do like a couple tempos here real quick on each one of those, and just kind of play it with you in a sense. I'll turn the track on so you can hear the track on the video as well, and just to kind of give you a review / maybe test, and then obviously you take it from there. If you need to keep playing those for a little bit, do it. If you just kind of need to review them a little bit, that's fine too. Have to kind of just leave that up to you wherever you're at with those 3. So let's transition. We're going to jump back to the page 53, Allegro. And I want to put it at like an 80% and then 100% tempo, and just kind of play it with you. And we will take it from there. And we're going to jump to like 95. So let's do it. We got a thumb on my E and a thumb on my C. And we should be together, right? Again, hopefully this is all review. And this is like you feeling maybe it's a waste of time because you're so good at it, right? So here we go. Here is our 8. We're going to play it. So my 1, 2, and we go. 4, 1. Okay, that was like 82% if you're doing the track tempo. Here's the 100%, just one more time, a little faster. Again, you can rewatch these and rewatch if you want to, or just go play at the track, right? Here we go. 1, 5, 6, and we go. Hopefully we're getting those thumbs together on that CE. Let's jump over to page 54. 54, my elephant ride. And I want to do the same thing, kind of that 80%, and then bump it up to that 100%. So let's do it. This is my both thumbs, we said, on middle C, watching all of those skips, right? Here we go. Here's our 8. My 1, 2, and we go. 3, 4. All right, again, if you need to just go back, work on different tempos, do it. Here's 100%, just to give us an idea. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, we go. 3, 4. There you go. There you go. All right, jump to the last one, 55. Moving into our Yankee Doodle. And again, kind of that 80%. Remember that first part is slower. And then, of course, the last part is the faster, or not faster, but when it gets to the melody, we're going to speed it up, right? Well, it speeds up, right? So here we go. Same thing, thumbs on C. So my 1, 2, and we go. Go. All right, last one, 100%. Here we go. We got it from the top. 1, 2, and we go. Right. Well, again, I hope that was an easy review. If it wasn't and you need to go back, rehash letters, counting, play it at different tempos, play it slower than the 80%, go do it. It's part of practice, right? Working it up. If that was all good, awesome. Honestly, I would love for you to just kind of keep those going at the 100%, and we can play it one time together at least next week, just kind of hear the review. And then diving into those new ones, that 57 through 61. This is a video, so you can rewatch if you need to or don't get something. And hopefully it was clear enough to understand. So anyways, hope you are feeling better. And we will see you next week, hopefully. All right. So see you then. If you have any questions, let me know if I can answer them. So, all right. See you later. Bye.